The Church of England, exploiting the gap in the market caused by the demise of the supermarket business, began paying off its massive debts. The General Synod stated that the worst of the financial crisis was over. They forecast that by the year 2050 they would be out of the red altogether. The Anglican Church had come back from the brink. On the 5th of August, the Prime Minister, accompanied by the Home Secretary, arrived at Lambeth Palace and presented the head of the Church of England with the £6 billion as promised in the Restoration Bill. 2 hours later, the Archbishop of Canterbury walked into the very first betting shop and blew the entire £6 billion on a single metaphysical bet. The bet was this: God is love. Part 2, Chapter 24. Receivers were called in and the Church of England ceased effectively to exist. When Edgar heard what had happened, he had every one of his employees in Skeptic Tower do the can-can in the main lobby. The 15,000 churches, cathedrals and all remaining church property was sold to Edgar Malroy. The evening news showed rows and rows of former Anglican priests queuing up outside unemployment offices across the country. There is nothing quite as lovely in my mind as an unemployed priest. An unemployed priest is hope, said Edgar as he watched the news in the editing room of Who Knows TV. That night, Edgar held a service for the passing away of the Church of England on Who Knows TV. He spoke of an end of an era. He said the Church of England had gone somewhere better. He could hardly keep a straight face. He said that finally a gibbering voice had been silenced, and that we were all one step closer to peace and quiet. The former Archbishop of Canterbury phoned Who Knows TV and thanked Edgar for making it all possible. Edgar told the former Archbishop that he had never known quite such an extraordinary nut as him before. If only there were more like you, Edgar said. The Archbishop said he regretted nothing. He said he would do it again if he had the chance. Live on TV, Edgar added the Church of England to the list in his little black book, grinning from ear to ear. Sophia fell out of her wheelbarrow when she heard that the Church of England was no more. Later she said she had seen it coming, as had, of course, the Virgin Mary. Sophia went on and on claiming that there was now absolutely no denying it. Edgar was the Antichrist. It was plain as day. It was plainer than that. Sophia spent the rest of the day the Church of England officially died, planning how to stop Edgar, and that night whispered his name in the sweetest voice you ever heard. Edgar jerked off in his question-mark-shaped bathtub that night, thinking of Sophia, as he did every night. At the moment of climax, he screamed out, "Than bow wow willow bicky wiki wiki bicky." Sophia Alderson's name in tongues. Part 2, Chapter 25. On the 7th of August, Ayatollah Khomeini declared that it was an offence to Allah to place money on one's metaphysical beliefs. After he made this ruling, he removed his "I've put my money where my metaphysics are" badge and spat on it. Other Muslim clerics and the influential Muslim World League backed the Ayatollah's ruling and spat on their badges so many times they became quite parched and had to stop and have something to drink. All over the planet, Muslims engaged in a great deal of spitting. The tide had begun to turn on poor Edgar. The collapse of the Church of England was a turning point for Scepticism, Inc. It made the various religious leaders of the world sit up and ask themselves for the first time exactly why they were giving a confessed agnostic vast sums of money. It was, if we are honest, a good question. Edgar appeared on Who Knows TV and said how silly it was for Muslim leaders to ban metaphysical betting. He pointed out that the Quran insisted that all good Muslims should establish credit with God. Now, what better way was there to achieve this than with metaphysical bets? Despite the fact that their spiritual leaders had banned metaphysical betting, hundreds and hundreds of Muslims phoned Who Knows TV and bet just as they had done before. They spent stupid sums of money on various bets relating to Islamic beliefs. The urge to bet was just too great for Muslim nuts to resist, especially when an image of Edgar Malroy limping about and encouraging them in the peculiar way that he did appeared on their TV screens. They couldn't help themselves. It was a few hours later that the first bomb scare took place at Skeptic Tower. Edgar, his staff and myself stood outside in the rain next to Sophia Alderson's followers, who kept on pointing at their illegible placards and telling us that we were in league with the devil and so on. The bomb disposal team took 5 hours to search the massive tower. No bomb was found. When everyone filed back in, we heard that 2 Unitarian churches with a total of 10,000 followers, 200 priests, and 152 places of worship worldwide had ended. This brought tears to Edgar's remaining eye. To be honest, we were all rather moved. I said, "Aloha," and Edgar did the splits.